It's not every morning you're jolted awake by the growl of a diesel engine choking on river mist at 6 a.m., only to find a tow truck backing down a boat ramp, chains clanking like it's starring in a heist flick. But this wasn't a car being hauled off. It was my two fiberglass kayaks, swinging from the tow hooks like stolen treasure. I stood there in my worn flannel pajamas, coffee mug in hand, blinking through the haze, wondering if I'd slipped into a fever dream or if Clara Hensley had finally lost her grip on reality. The driver tossed me a half-hearted shrug, as if to say he was just the hired muscle. Meanwhile, Clara stood off to the side, clutching a clipboard, sporting a neon vest emblazoned with River Patrol Captain, while sipping lemon-infused water like she was presiding over a royal court. That was the moment I knew she'd declared war not just on me, but on common sense itself. Let me back up. My name's Nate Carver, and Willow Bend, this quiet stretch of river in northern Oregon, isn't just my home, it's my life. I inherited this land from my grandfather, a man who poured his soul into preserving the delicate balance of this waterway. I own most of the northern riverbank and the environmental rights tied to it, a legacy that's kept this place pristine for decades. I work here, breathe here, kayak here, and find peace in the gentle ripples of the current. That is until last spring, when a shiny new subdivision sprouted on the southern bank, bringing with it the Homeowners Association from hell. Within months, they crowned Clara as their president, and by June 2024, she was strutting around in that vest like it was a badge of divine authority. Clara started small, as tyrants often doff flyers about noise complaints, gentle nudges about matching porch lights for neighborhood charm. I ignored it. Then came the 40-page River Use Manifesto, single-spaced, declaring my river a communal asset in need of her iron-fisted oversight. She assembled a 3-person River Compliance Council, with herself as chair and her loyal minions, Gary and Lorraine, as enforcers. I chuckled at first, watching from my deck as Gary tried to fine a kid for using an inflatable unicorn float. But the humor faded when the signs went up. No private kayaks. No permitted vessels. No fishing without HOA approval. They even held a bizarre ceremony to christen their clunky HOA-branded paddle boats, which looked like discount carnival props. Things got personal when one of my clients, a retired firefighter named Marcus, was harassed. Marcus, who uses kayaking to cope with chronic pain from a career of saving lives, was confronted by Gary and Lorraine in their matching visors, accusing him of unauthorized river access. He called me, humiliated, and I apologized, fuming. Then I noticed my kayak's bright green, unmistakable were gone from my private dock. I thought a storm might have swept them away, but my security footage told a darker story. An HOA contractor at dawn, unhooking my kayaks, loading them onto a trailer, and driving off. No warning, no fine, just theft. I stormed to the HOA office, a sterile space reeking of lavender and bureaucracy. Clara sat behind a desk labeled Harmony Director, smiling like a snake. When I demanded my kayaks, she handed me a glossy pamphlet and cited Section 22, Clause D, of her river rules. I told her I'd never agreed to her nonsense. She laughed, saying my consent wasn't required. The HOA governed river access for the greater good. I didn't yell. I just stared, turned, and left, my calm masking a fire that was starting to burn. Back home, I dug out my grandfather's conservation contract with the state, a document granting our family control over ecological maintenance, water flow, and sediment management for Willow Bend's northern half. I called my friend Jenna, a sharp environmental lawyer, and laid out the saga. She didn't laugh, she just said, "Time to show them who really owns the river." That night, as the river glinted under a crescent moon, I traced the rusted lock on the old valve shed. A plan was forming, not out of spite, but necessity. I wouldn't scream or threaten. I'd let the river itself settle the score. The next morning, June 10th, 2024, I filed a maintenance notice with the Oregon Department of Water Resources, citing my right to lower the river for ecological work. By noon, Jenna had sent a formal letter to the county, referencing the conservation clause that gave me bulletproof authority. She even noted that river access could be suspended for safety during maintenance. I wasn't just in the right, I was untouchable. Jenna called me, half laughing, saying she'd never seen anyone weaponize stewardship like this. I told her I preferred recalibrating entitled ecosystems. She told me to keep receipts. I had the tow truck footage. I spent the day adjusting the valve system my grandfather designed, a network of gates and pumps built to manage water levels during floods or droughts. By evening, the river had dropped an inch, barely noticeable, but a start. I posted a sign near the HOA's riverfront trail, ecological maintenance in progress. Water levels may shift. It included a QR code linking to my county-filed notice. I didn't want to fight, I wanted clarity. Clara struck back faster than I expected. By dusk, Gary showed up, red-faced, demanding answers. I offered him iced tea and pointed to the QR code. He scanned it, read the permit, and deflated, muttering about emergency meetings before leaving. The next day, the river fell another 6 inches, enough to tilt the HOA's floating party deck, a gaudy platform for their mimosa-soaked gatherings. It listed sadly, spilling Adirondack chairs into the mud. Lorraine tried to salvage them with a pool net, cursing as the river mocked her efforts. Social media caught fire. A local Facebook group posted a photo of the shrinking river, captioned, "Willow Bend or Muddy Mess?" Comments ranged from sinkhole theories to alien conspiracies. One guy blamed a tech billionaire's secret dam. I ate a turkey sandwich and laughed, but the tension was palpable. By day 3, Clara called an emergency town hall under the HOA's gazebo, pacing like a general, accusing me of sabotaging the community's soul. Gary reluctantly held up my permit. The crowd turned. A woman asked why the HOA built docks without checking water rights. Clara's grip was slipping. Then came the restraining order. Clara claimed my maintenance endangered wildlife, accusing me of ecological vandalism. Jenna nearly choked laughing, counterfiling with drone footage of the HOA's unpermitted marina construction bulldozers dumping gravel into the riverbed. In court, Clara brought a binder thick enough to stop a bullet. Jenna brought a USB drive. The judge, unimpressed by Clara's theatrics, watched the footage and denied the order, ordering an investigation into the HOA's violations. Clara's face crumpled. Lorraine asked Jenna for a copy of the video, quietly. The fallout was swift. Online fodum etlodet, without ben huafe en vidum pulp. Memes of Clara wading through mud went viral. Residents questioned HOA fees, shoddy amenities, and Clara's reign. A rebel group, the Riverside Fair Use Coalition, formed, demanding reform. I stayed focused, documenting invasive species and erosion as the river dropped to its maintenance threshold, a muddy, raw expanse that forced the truth to the surface. The final blow came from my wildlife camera. At 2 a.m., it caught Clara, dressed like a budget spy, trying to sabotage a pump with a wrench. She slipped, face-planted in the mud, and kicked the pump in a rage before fleeing. Jenna sent the footage to the county, who issued a warning to the HOA. The clip leaked, airing on local news as HOA chief caught mud-handed, complete with slow-motion replays. Clara became a meme legend. At the HOA's next vote, only 9 members showed. 6 ousted Clara. She screamed about conspiracies at a potluck before vanishing to a gated community 2 counties away, reportedly still wearing her vest. A new board, led by a calm retiree named Alan, proposed a co-management deal with me, prioritizing the river's health. We signed it over lemonade and brownies. By late June, I restored the river's flow. Water returned slowly, reclaiming its banks, reviving reeds and fish. I hosted a small gathering, gifting Marcus new kayaks. Neighbors came, even former HOA loyalists, sharing stories of fishing and fireflies, not fines. As Marcus paddled with his grandkid, silhouetted against the sunset, I felt the river breathe again. Spring 2025 brought birds, fish, and shared paddle boats. Teens painted a sign, "Welcome to Willow Bend. Respect the river. No party docks without asking." Under the stars, with guitar strums and distant laughter, peace settled in hard-won, absurd, and real. So what do you think? Was I a hero for standing up to Clara's tyranny, or a petty vigilante who went too far? Should HOAs have any say over natural resources, or are they just power-hungry clubs? And if you faced a Clara, would you drain the river or play nice? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories where nature fights back.